So, welcome to episode 3 of Heart to Heart Conversations. I am also always so thrilled to explore what's next and who's next, my next guest. And this is a very special guest, like everyone, but this person has a very special place in my heart. 1992, I think it was September 1992, I came over from England and was an au pair for this beautiful family. And this beautiful soul, Danielle, here, um, was just 5 days old, I think you were at
Yeah.
that moment. And now you look at you, you're just so beautiful and all grown up. And, we'll get into what she's doing, but she's really doing some amazing work. And that's a pioneer and innovative and in terms of like really bringing transformation into this shift that we're all going through to women who are learning how to pioneer this new wave of consciousness that we're currently in right now. So I am so excited to welcome you, dear Danielle, and thank you for making the time to come and share yourself with us today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here with you. It's I don't know, I just got so much warmth in my heart and in my body as you talked about how we met each other 33 plus years ago and how our journeys have evolved a little bit side by side and then separate and are now weaving back together. And it's so wonderful and so exciting to see where we're going with all of it.
Yeah. So I'd love to like open the space up a little bit to maybe you could tell a little bit about yourself and where you are inside of your journey and what got you to where you are and how you arrived into a more heart-centered way of living that's more
Mhm.
honoring of um, your soul and a balanced life that's more authentic, that the how you got here and why you're choosing this now.
Yeah, wow, that's a big question. Very big question and a very big long story. So I'll do my best to simplify and pare down and anywhere there are questions and we want to dive deeper, we can do that. Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. So starting backwards from where I am now, feeling like I'm in a place of so much gratitude for where I'm at right now and for knowing what I know about myself, as well as the way that the world and our human psyches move through that world. And feeling like so many of the challenges that I have faced in my life, especially when I was really young, have contributed to my ability to be able to see the world in a different perspective than I think a lot of people tend to, based on the way that we're raised throughout our lives. So, where I'm at right now is that I, like you were saying, Lucia, am supporting women, coaches, and healers through this process of really bringing their souls into the world, their soul signature into the world as something more than just a list of their certifications, but something that is calling them, that includes certifications as well as their life experiences, the way that they see the world, their perspectives, and the thing that they're here in this world to do. And I feel like I probably wouldn't have gotten to this place if I hadn't experienced the loss of my dad when I was 3 years old. You know all about that. Of course, I did not process any of that when I was 3 years old, but when I was at the end of college, at about 25, 26 years old, was when I was invited to process all of the grief and the loss that I had been ignoring for a really long time. So that I always kind of look back on as the beginning of my inner journey to discover more about myself and to discover that I can actually go inward on all the things that are outside of me and to really dive into what it means to be living, what it means to be a human in this world. And that was such a gift to me. It was one of the hardest parts of my life for sure, because we go in and I'm sure from what I know of you now, your audience probably has heard about the dark night of the soul and all of the challenges that feel like the world is crumbling underneath us. And then to emerge on the other side, having gone through that journey, feeling so much more alive than I had in the past, and feeling like I have something that I can give back and share with the world. And that in itself has been a journey building my business from life coaching to grief doulaing to life transition coaching to career coaching, and now finally into soul aligned business mentorship, where I feel so aligned to support women in building businesses that are a path to self realization and that are a path to spirituality where it hasn't been before.
It's so important and so needed, the support that you're
Mhm.
offering and the guidance. And, one thing you didn't mention is that you had another dream. You want to share your dream around NASA?
Yes, absolutely. So when I was in college, I had the dream of becoming an astronaut. So I studied astrobiology with the intention that I would, after college, go get a PhD and then apply for the astronaut corps as their usual checklist for astronauts is laid out. And that was also a dream that my dad had and hadn't been able to realize. So there was a piece of me that was striving to reconnect with him. And at the end of college, when I started to realize, ooh, I'm not actually enjoying this work that I'm doing. And if I'm going to continue on this path, there's another at least 7 years of doing the academic side of it in a PhD program. And then after that, maybe that doesn't even look like what I want to be doing. And maybe 10 years, 20 years down the line, I'm going to look up and wonder, how did I get here? Because this isn't who I am. So that was another part of the world crumbling around me at the end of college because I had attached my identity so much to becoming an astronaut that I lost the identity. I went through the grieving of my dad. There was a breakup too. I didn't have a job. All these things that basically were the invitation from the universe to say, take a moment, slow down, and choose. You get to choose your path.
Yeah, so you're pointing to something that is interesting. So when things feel like they might feel like they're falling apart, versus like reorganizing everything so they're falling into place. That is more aligned with your soul and your heart. But we can't hear you suddenly for some reason. Mm.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny, you disappeared for a moment. You're back.
I'm back now. I'm back. Yeah, I think I was saying as humans, we don't have that wider perspective to know that instead of things falling apart, it's things falling into place, like you were talking about.
So I thought we could explore using this phrase, the power to choose. There is such a thing as, and we forget sometimes when we're in survival mode or just reacting to life or reacting to life circumstances that we actually have an opportunity to choose at
Mhm.
any given moment.
Mhm.
And would you like to share your relationship to choice and the power to choose?
Oh, man, absolutely. That is one of the things that I learned from this journey. We do have the power to choose, and it doesn't even have to be in these big life moments where we have a major decision to make. It can be in any given smaller moment throughout our days, especially in the times where we have patterning that has been conditioned into us or that we've conditioned into ourselves. Where if we become aware and more conscious of the way that we move through the world, then we have the power to choose. And I know sometimes it feels like I don't have a choice. I have to do this thing. But that's, again, that's just our conditioning and our patterning and our belief in one thing or another. So I think this power to choose is really powerful in itself because it broadens our perspectives on what's possible and allows us to get into a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of understanding of the world around us. I think it reminds me of this quote by Albert Einstein that says, we can't, I'm paraphrasing, we can't solve the problems that we've created from the same level of consciousness that we've created them from. And that power to choose helps us to rise up a little bit higher and see more perspective.
That's right. That's really beautiful.
Mhm.
You have a gift of innovation, and you ended up choosing by creating your own major. Is that right?
Yes, I did. That
That's
is right.
pretty amazing. Tell a little bit about that, what you created.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because at the time it doesn't seem like a huge thing to do. And then looking back on it, it's like, wow, yeah, that was a pretty big choice and a pretty bold choice to make to create my own major. Yes, I created my major in astrobiology at Barnard College, which is the Women's College of Columbia in New York City. And I started out my college career studying astrophysics because of the astronaut path. I said, this is the type A in me. I said when I was applying for colleges and choosing my major, physics was the hardest class I took in high school, so I need to major in it. And I might as well do astrophysics because that will help me on the path to becoming an astronaut. And then in my sophomore year, my second year of college, again realized I wasn't happy and I was burnt out. I was overwhelmed. I was questioning whether I wanted to follow the path of astronaut earlier on in my career in college. And so I actually took a gap year, which is another choice that I made because I basically said, I'm going to unenroll from college. I'm going to take time off and I'm going to come back and do some kind of humanities major because I had looked around and saw all my friends in humanities majors enjoying life in New York City, whereas I was sitting in the library all day, every day studying. Um, and this funny piece about it was that maybe 2 hours after I had unenrolled from Barnard so I could take my gap year and come back and do something else, I got accepted to do an internship at NASA. And so I was like, okay, I guess I should follow this path a little further. And that was a really wonderful opening experience because I got the opportunity to actually apply what I had been learning in school to astrobiology, to astrophysics, to becoming an astronaut potentially. And that made all the difference in the world because went from philosophy and and just the abstract nature of academia into, okay, I'm applying this in the lab for something that's really making a difference in the way that we see evolution, the way that we see the world, because I was studying evolution. And that also was an introduction to astrobiology, where I hadn't really known about astrobiology that much before. But when I was working at NASA, I was actually working alongside SETI, which is the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And it was very much like learn about astrobiology, learn about everything that we're doing to try to see if there's intelligent life elsewhere in the universe that we can talk to and connect with. And so that whole year was very much a year of there's more that I can dive into here. And I came back to school seeing that there were no majors in astrobiology already, and that wanted to and needed to make a major in astrobiology. And so I came back and said, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'll create that major now.
Amazing. You're quite the amazing woman, Danielle, I must say.
Thank you.
And then you didn't just create your own major, you created a job for yourself. Is that right? Later on in
I,
your life?
I did. I did. Yeah, looking back on all these pieces that I've created for myself has shown me the breadcrumbs of what I'm doing now, helping women to create their own modalities as coaches. So an additional piece that I've created for myself was in my first job out of school as a software engineer. I was at that job for about 5 years, and throughout that time, I was a software engineer and then became a sales engineer where I was interfacing with our customers or potential customers to show them what would be possible with our software. Then I became a manager because I wanted to work even more with people. I missed that side, working in front of a computer all day. And then as I spent more time coaching, I learned to coach and got certified in 2020 and had a couple of years of overlap still in tech. I realized more and more how much I cared about growing humans and helping other humans evolve. And I also saw that there was a gap at our company of humans actually being happy at the company. So I looked around and said, I would like to create a role in employee success because that's so important for us to maintain our workforce here. That was also around the same time where I was working on transitioning out of that job to build my own business. So it was sort of side by side, seeing what would be possible in a more corporate environment, and then ultimately choosing to leave and walk my own path, building my business.
Amazing. So you've created your whole path of evolution as you've grown too, so you can offer this to people like me who are I have the privilege of walking this path with you to create my own soul signature, which I'm so excited how it's all going to work out and
Yes,
birth.
I can't wait. Exactly. I can't wait for it. Right now, we're just in the first trimester. Yeah.
Share a little bit about your evolve method and how you got to that
Hmm.
aim and why it's important to you and why you chose it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Evolve method is a container for women coaches who are feeling burnt out, but still know that there's something deeper that they're meant to bring into the world. And it's a container to evolve beyond that burnout and into a place where your business feels simplified, streamlined, and a place where you can really shine your soul signature.
That just
Um,
sounds so delicious right now.
so juicy.
But I'm
Yeah.
doing it with you.
It was birthed out of this pattern that I kept seeing with other coaches and with myself 100%, where we have so much experience, we have so much knowledge, so much wisdom and expertise, and it's difficult for us to talk about what we do because it oftentimes ends up coming out as a laundry list of the certifications that we have. So, for example, for me, it was I'm a yoga instructor and a life coach, and I do Reiki, and like I studied tech, I studied astrobiology, and it's like it's hard to talk about it in a way that people understand the through line of it. And so what I started to say was there's something deeper that's trying to come out of us and come not even come out of us, come through us in a way that weaves together our experiences, our expertise, our ancestry, our certifications, all the things that make us us, that is different from any other school of thought, any other dogma, any other anything. And that's what makes us all so unique, not only as humans, but as practitioners who are helping other people move through and find their own soul signatures. So the evolve method is really an answer to that confusion or that feeling like I know there's more to what I do and I don't know how to talk about it. And I'm tired. I'm tired of feeling like I'm spread really thin. Hmm.
So good. Good. I mean, we all need this. It's what I understand so far. It's a way of growing inside and also honoring the natural way us humans are.
Yeah.
And not just us humans, just women, what that actually works.
Yeah.
Working and living in a way that is honoring to this nervous system.
Exactly. And honoring is such a beautiful word because it's working with the nervous system in a way that supports it to be in a regulated state and also honors the messages that it's sending to us when we're dysregulated and knowing, okay, this is something that is important for me to pay attention to. And that's what I call one of the three pillars within the Evolve method, the discomfort advantage, where discomfort in our lives is inevitable. And most of us tend to move away from it. But when we actually start paying attention to it and moving into it in a way that is safe enough, we can enable our evolution. We can choose evolution in any given moment. And that's what feels so special and so exciting to me. And that came from my time at NASA working with algae and exploring the origins of evolution. How does evolution occur? And where can it occur in this kind of Goldilocks zone that we've talked about, or the edge of evolution, where you have a little bit of intensity and discomfort so that something's actually changing, but not so much discomfort that we're just shutting down.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of things, as you're saying, a lot of things came up for me around one, regulating the nervous system and how natural that is, and yet we disrupt it by pushing through and making things happen and wonder why we get sick or wonder why we have heart disease or cancer or a migraine or something that happens that is unexpected, that's health related.
Yeah.
And it's really it's a very intricate, wise system that we have.
Hmm.
We listen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. It's so wise. Our bodies, our nervous systems have so much information for us. And I would say, I would say at least 70% of the clients that I've worked with when they first come to me, they don't understand how to pay attention to their body. So, for example, when I say, where do you feel that emotion in your body? Like, where do you feel the anger in your body? Or where do you feel the frustration in your body? They're like, I don't know what you mean. How do I feel my body? And then after a couple of sessions together, as we dive into it, they go, oh my God. Yes. Like I feel it everywhere. And there's so much information. It's such a shift.
Where do most people live? Up here in their heads, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Up here in their heads because it's so uncomfortable in their bodies because they haven't paid attention to it before. And because we live in a society that loves the intellect and that rewards us for being smart, for getting A's, for thinking, instead of paying attention to all of us.
I always like to say, thinking is dangerous.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I want to make a bumper sticker that says thinking is dangerous. Watch out, warning. If I believed everything I thought, then I would be in big trouble.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah. And our brains are organs of thought. There's so many thoughts in there that we don't
trouble.
need to pay attention to all the time.
Was it Deepak Chopra once said, 60 to 80,000 thoughts on average a day, or something
Yeah,
crazy like that?
it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's cool because it's an organ and that's what the brain is like, that's the organ of thought. And there's so much that we can do when we see that there's so many thoughts and it's just a flood of water that's coming through and we don't have to watch or be pulled along with all of them. We can choose again. We can choose.
Choose which thoughts to identify with and connect
Yeah,
with.
exactly. Exactly. And one thing that I found, and one reason that I feel so strongly that the body has so much wisdom for us, especially intuitive wisdom, is because if there's a thought that comes through that it has like an emotional or sensational charge to it, it's helpful for us to pay attention to it. Like that, that charge of insight or intuition that comes to us where we just know deep in our bones, like that's real, that's true.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and that's actually what we're exploring in our next retreat is restoring the trust in the
Hmm.
body to live
Hmm.
from that inner felt sense knowing to
Yeah.
guide us rather than someone outside of us telling us what to do
Yeah.
that maybe have been outdated, or is it just another program
Mhm.
um, or societal expectation that we should be, wherever, I don't know, 25, married and earning amount of money, certain amount of money. And you know
Mhm.
how it's like, it's a trap. And I'm supporting people to let go, take a look, have a deeper investigation of what's beyond the facade, what's
Yeah.
beyond the societal expectation and all the conditioning that we've been taught on the
Mhm.
external, to really start to go in and see what's inside. Because
Mhm.
it's from the inside out, when we can feel okay on the inside, is where there's a restoration, a restoring of that trust of safety, of the okayness. There's kind of this relief that then the nervous system can kind of let go and restore balance again.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we do that from the inside, It doesn't matter what's going on outside of us. If we have that place of peace that we can access within, then we can go anywhere. We can go into a war zone and feel pretty at peace.
So it's interesting you talk about the discomfort and that being part of evolution. Can you share a little bit more about that and the gift of being of feeling discomfort or going into discomfort?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, the main pillar of the evolved method is called the discomfort advantage, and it's rooted in this idea that discomfort is direction, and it's not something that we need to fix because it's not a problem. It's really a portal for us to get into our next evolution. So, the discomfort is here to show us, okay, there's something to pay attention to. And if we can pay attention to it and make our way into it in a way that is safe enough, where again, there's enough activation, enough discomfort that we can feel something and change something, but not so much that we shut down. That's where the magic can happen, where we get that insight that we're meant to have for ourselves, as well as um, alignment to our truer selves rather than alignment with, again, like all those thoughts and shoulds and expectations that have been conditioned into us from society. So I like to work with this in all aspects of discomfort and specifically with burnout because burnout is one of the biggest symbols, especially for high achieving women coaches, that something is ready to shift. Not that it needs to shift, but it's ready to shift. It's like, I love this idea of a chick ready to hatch out of its egg. Like, it's very uncomfortable in there. They've grown right up against the edges and they're ready to break out of that edge and into their next evolution.
That's a really good example. Never thought about that before.
Yeah, it would be really uncomfortable to be in an egg.
Yeah, especially when you're growing. I mean, maybe the same thing as a baby, if you're growing in the
Mhm.
mother's womb. I'd
Yeah.
imagine that over time,
Hmm.
that would be really uncomfortable too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess that's why there's a particular gestation period
Yeah.
of time before, birth happens.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah,
kind of a magical process, isn't it?
it's so magical. Oh my gosh. It's crazy what our bodies can do, and they just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like it leaves me a little speechless to even remember that I am in a body. Like, wow, how did I even get in here?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like, I mean, I know I'm not the body, I have a body, and I'm not the mind, I have a mind, but still there's this, wow, I look down, I'm like, I have legs, I have feet. How,
Cool.
how is that? It's
Yeah.
like a miracle that I'm here.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's
Yeah.
so cool. And that also speaks to another aspect of the discomfort advantage that comes into this place of when you really fully embody the discomfort advantage, being human becomes playing, where we're just fully experiencing everything that comes, whether it's comfortable, whether it's uncomfortable, whether it's happy, whether it's sad, just the full range of human experience. And that to me is one of the most exciting pieces of it because it's like, regardless of what we end up doing with it, we can just have fun and play and enjoy the magic of being human and not have to say, oh, I'm sad or I'm angry, I'm depressed, and like it's bad. I shouldn't be feeling this way. It's how cool is it that I can experience these emotions and sensations as a human in this body with hands and legs and feet and a head and a heart and lungs.
It's my favorite thing, play. I love to play. I mean, I think
Yeah.
we've forgotten as adults how to play.
Definitely. Definitely.
I thought for a long time, like maybe I need to create. I'd like to create some playgrounds for adults like that.
Yeah.
For a long time, I thought, well, in a way, I am. In what I'm doing and what's being created through me, and we'll see what happens at the end of this
Mhm.
evolved method process. But I'm
Yeah.
just, it's such a curious thing. I wonder, like, I always loved playing games when I was a child.
Mhm.
You make it a game and then, I engage. And I
Yeah.
think that so many people, are in survival mode in life right now and just trying to get through the day, and we've lost our ability somehow to experience joy and um, the sense of the gift and the sense of really feeling alive and experiencing the gift of that feeling of aliveness inside.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And maybe at a larger scale or perspective that we don't have as individuals, everything that's going on in the world is an invitation back to play. Like if we look at past experiences with depressions or recessions, so many people kind of came back to the simpler joys in life and didn't focus so much on the complexities or the big strifes, but focused on the simple pleasures, like a little bit of music together after work or dinner or whatever it is. And I think that's something that we miss so often, especially in our society, because we're so focused on the next thing or achievement or that milestone.
And games can, or singing or music or any kind of that kind of thing can really create authentic connection, which is another passion of mine, is creating authentic connection outside of the screens or
Yeah.
the phones that we have that just take our attention. Because I feel like our attention is the most valuable commodity we have. Where we choose to focus it, keyword choice, right? Choosing to focus that this beautiful gift of consciousness that we
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
wow. So
Mm.
the other thing it came to me is this expression of when discomfort does come up.
Mhm.
What is your experience with a lot of people? Do they say, yes, I'm going into the discomfort, or does people say, no, I'm not going into that. I'm not going to step into that. That's too much. Or what's your experience?
The the goal and the intention and the dream with the evolve method is to have people do the first one, say, yes, discomfort is here. I'm going in. Let's see what's here for me. Because really there's treasure that's waiting for us to discover. And that is not what they currently do. Currently, most people are not even aware that there's discomfort. And they immediately go back to the screen, back to some kind of coping, back to some kind of self-soothing, which is usually scrolling, liking social media, videos, all these things that are so easily accessible to us. And it's going to take some time to interrupt that pattern. And it's happening probably more quickly than it has in the past because people are becoming more aware and consciousness is shifting, like you were talking about at the beginning of our conversation. And I think just having that consciousness shift as well as be alongside the discomfort advantage is such a powerful combination because then it's like, okay, we have the tools that we need in order to come together and really choose evolution, really choose to move forward, rather than staying right here and staying small in a lot of ways.
I was just sharing with someone today about how what my journey has been, and I was taking a like a course with a coach, and many years ago, and he put um, just a camera onto me, and I couldn't find my words. Just having the light and the camera on me, I just was like, there was no words, and I couldn't find myself because I was not used to all that attention. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had to really work through even having attention put on me
Yeah.
and feeling okay with that.
Yeah.
And then even learning how to expand and to talk about enter into the discomfort so I could really support others and serve others to evolve, consciously evolve and grow and deepen their understanding of themselves. Because when we each deepen our understanding of ourselves, what does it create? More relatability because we have compassion, and compassion is what creates connection. because it goes beyond judgment or make wrong. It's like, oh, I know, I had that feeling too, and then I can relate with, like, for example, what some of the changes. I mean, you went through a lot, and we have vastly different paths, but coming to the same result of recognizing that there's power in choice. There's power in choosing what works for you and letting go what doesn't. That really supports not just this nervous system, but your heart and your soul, where you can actually live a happy life and live a life that's fulfilling and satisfying to you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Mm.
It's quite a journey, and it's not one for the faint of heart, because I've noticed it's kind of like looking in the closet to see if what skeletons there are, or
Yeah.
any cobwebs. Like,
Yep.
it really is an opportunity to face all the things I might not like about myself and
Hmm.
love them anyway. Learn to love them, learn to embrace them, learn to accept them, because inside of accepting all my parts, that creates harmony inside. It's kind of like IFS, right? Internal family systems. When there's an inner harmony here,
Yeah,
then there's an external harmony out here. And then
exactly.
I can feel more whole as
Hmm.
a person, not just a spiritual being.
Yeah, exactly. And we can all feel more whole together, more unified and integrated with each other as one person shifts, the boundaries between you and me start to dissolve. And that's why I feel like this work is so important, because there is so much othering, there's so many boundaries, there are so many separations in the world that we desperately need to come back into unity, whether it is unity within ourselves or unity across the human race. I know there's a big spectrum there, and it all contributes to that same unity.
It's really important what you just said, because when there's a misunderstanding, or when something happens, especially when there's a difference as point of view,
Mm.
it seems like there's another over there. But really, it's kind of like you in disguise with
Yeah.
just a different bodysuit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I always love the term, if you spot it, you got it.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so the things that we get frustrated about or we throw judgments around about someone doing something, that's because there's a piece of us that we don't like or fully accept or have fully integrated yet. That's calling for attention and calling for integration. It's not about that other person doing it, it's about us doing it.
So I'm curious, if someone's struggling from burnout, or like just in survival, trying to get through the day, is there something that you would recommend, or could you lead us into a little exercise, or whatever you feel? What would you like to share?
Yeah, that speaks really clearly to the second pillar of the evolve method, the integration code. And the whole idea behind the integration code is this understanding that you don't need to do more and you don't need to do less. You need to integrate what you already know and what you already have experience with. So many of us burn ourselves out because we're trying to do more, usually because of a feeling of insufficiency within us. And so we try to prove that we can, or that we're enough, or that we're capable. So we moor ourselves, we get burnt out, and then when we get burnt out, we think, okay, I'm doing too much, so I need to do less. But that's just another face of doing more, just trying to control our way into doing less. So, like doing less work, going on vacations, taking a sabbatical time off. Those are all ways of kind of controlling our way out of it rather than just surrendering and allowing ourselves to integrate what we already know, which in itself is a really uncomfortable place, or can be a really uncomfortable place, because it's predicated on the understanding that what we have and what we know and what we are is already enough.
That's such a relief.
Yeah.
Remember that, or recognize that and acknowledge that, because I mean, just when you say that, it's like, oh, you mean I don't have to keep becoming? I guess
Yeah.
that's a natural process in itself because it's evolution. There's nothing really stays the same.
Hmm.
At the same time, I want to wake up in the morning and start my day with an attitude of I'm going to show up and do my best today and be who I am and do my best.
Yeah, exactly. And when we do that, we can come into that place of integration and into that place of enoughness without forcing ourselves to do our best. Because when we're forcing or trying to do our best, we're pushing beyond our current capacity. And that capacity changes from moment to moment, depending on how we're feeling, depending on how much water we've drank today, depending on so many different factors. And so that's why it's so important for us to meet ourselves where we are each and every moment because it changes. And that's kind of the art of the evolve method, where there is science and there is structure to it to find that edge of evolution and go into the discomfort advantage. And there's also so much art within it because there are no rules, right? It's all about meeting ourselves where we are and really listening more deeply to ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah, I love that you feel like the integration code is a relief and like, oh, thank you.
To
Do
the
more.
part of me that wants to do more, to be more, to then think that I'm valuable or I'm enough. And
Exactly.
there's a big disease of not just distraction that we have, but not enoughness, not worthy or not enough, and I need to do this, and it's almost like an inferiority complex or something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I like to talk about this doing more, 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 more as mooring ourselves. So similarly to a boat that is on a mooring, all you can do is spin around and spin your wheels around that mooring. But the second that we allow ourselves to unmoor and be in the discomfort of the unknown and in the discomfort of enoughness is when we can actually go out and do what a boat is supposed to do, go out into open ocean and explore and have fun and play rather than just spinning around in a circle all day. And yeah,
On the adventure
and
of
become the
our life.
adventurer. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's really I called it a magical mystery tour today, just with someone. It's like life is really, if we let go and release the need to control,
Hmm.
the magic is right here. Um,
It is.
it's terrifying to the mind, by the way, but that's why we're here to learn how to live from the heart,
Yeah.
our being, and let go of the reins a little bit.
Hmm.
So there's more spontaneity and more flow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love that magical mystery tour. It
Come on, a magical mystery tour. I don't know what
is.
we're gonna find. We might find jewels and a treasure chest and all sorts of things.
Yeah, and when we the fun the cosmic joke of it of when we are open to being on that adventure, we receive everything that is there and available for us and presenting itself to us. But when we're on a track and we're saying, I have to go in this direction, I have to achieve this, 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 and this, we miss everything because we have blinders on.
Okay, have an example. A real
Yeah,
life example.
yeah,
Okay, this is so funny. I was just cracking myself up today and like, sometimes we don't know why we meet people and then it shows up later why.
yeah.
So over the past of what 8 months since I've lived in Temecula, California, I go to the park with my dog and I meet lots of different people there. And there was this little kid with his mom, and he was throwing the ball, and he lost the ball. And so they felt really bad because it was for my dog, and it was our ball. And anyway, they ended up finding it and giving it to a friend later after I left. And then I ended up getting the ball back eventually. And then I saw them. I see them here and there. I go by their house every morning when I walk my dog. And I saw them yesterday, and they had a new puppy. So the mom bought her son, probably not more than maybe 12, I guess, bought her son a little puppy. So cute. And And in between this, I was looking for lawn care, like somewhere, I guess people charge crazy amounts of money to mow people's lawn these days. It's crazy. Anyway, I was like, I want some affordable lawn care. And, after this week, I don't really have anything set up. And like a month ago, when I was looking for, replacement, I saw this, it was so cute, this little flyer on the mailbox, and it had these three kids and two kids' names, and then an added kid added their name with writing, just regular writing on the flyer. It says lawn care, $10. Which is so cute. I'm like, oh wow, I want to know, if this is really gonna work, and if they're for real. And
Yeah.
so I literally just reached out today because I didn't want to reach out until I was ready and knew what I needed. And she's like, "Is this the Lucia? The Lucia with Buddy?" And it was just like synchronistic things happen
Yeah.
when I get out of the way. And so it was just like, so she's gonna ask to see if they still do it. But isn't that funny that she
Oh,
she recognized who I was just through
yeah.
those interactions of like, oh, how fun was that? How
Yeah.
synchronistic was that?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
A
I
little
love that.
magic. I mean, I mean, I didn't know who these three kids were who did the
Yeah.
bone part, but it's just like
Yeah.
I kept bumping into them,
Yeah.
when we seeing them at the park.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to come with your relationship with all of them as things unfold.
I used to mow lawns when I was a kid, and so I think I earned £5 per mowing,
Yeah.
which I think for my grandmother, I mowed for like hours because she had a
Wow.
huge lawn. I'm huge. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it took me 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was a teenager, so I had a lot of energy, but
Yeah.
it was a good way of making some pocket money back then.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess that's where I was like, oh, I want to support these kids.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, it's a little part of your history coming back up too. Oh,
There's a lot of lawns in England.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Isn't it funny how there's so many cycles in our lives that come back around to us in unexpected ways.
Yeah.
And it's like your experience mowing lawns growing up, you probably didn't think too much about it when you were actually doing it. And now it's like, oh, yeah, that's a piece of my life that's coming back up.
I used to love it. It was
Ah,
satisfying because,
oh yeah,
it's kind of
totally.
like washing dishes.
Yeah, yeah,
You see the reward right away.
yeah,
Cleaning
exactly.
the house.
Exactly. It reminds me of the Zamboni at the ice rink,
Uh-huh.
where it cleans and smooths out the ice, and then it looks so satisfying. Ah, I
So I'm
love it.
wondering if there's anything that you want to share with the audience, any final words or wisdom or exercises or anything that you want to share from your heart.
Mm, great question. Um, just the simplest exercise, the simplest exercise that always brings me back, especially when discomfort happens. And I know that it is there to support me in evolving, is first, of course, well, I have a four-step system, the bold method, that is for in the moment working through the challenges that come up with discomfort so that we can evolve. And it's a little bit too much to go through in the next 6 minutes that we have. So I'm gonna distill into my favorite tool that works with this. Um, when discomfort arises, just the simple act of feeling your feet on the ground while also paying attention to the physical sensations in your body of that discomfort has been such a wonderful tool for me to both be able to regulate my nervous system and find myself, locate myself in this world to say like, okay, it's safe, it's fine, my feet are on the ground, I'm connected with the earth, and to also then honor the nervous system and open up. Yeah.
So simple, isn't it?
So simple.
So when I do massage, because I do massages,
Mhm.
I cannot massage someone without taking off my shoes and socks. I have to be barefoot.
Yeah.
And luckily, I work for myself, so I don't work in a spa or anything now. But I used to work in a spa and have to have shoes.
Yeah.
But I find when I work with no shoes on, I'm way more connected, and then the energy can flow
Mm-hmm.
through through my body and to the other person.
Yeah. And in both
I
directions.
Yeah, I massage for my whole body. Like I literally let the energy flow through.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
quite an
Exactly.
amazing experience.
Yeah. And then this is something that I learned from doing Reiki also is when we have that connection with earth, with source, with the ground, whatever we want to call it, and whatever resonates with us, that's when we bypass that common piece of taking on other people's energies or trying to make something happen or trying to make it a really good experience for the client. And then it can just flow. And then that's where infinite energy exists for us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I love that.
I get out of the way
Yeah, exactly.
of
Just be the
the
channel.
tunnel, and it's so much easier to live this way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's hard sometimes because there's so many conditioning programs, patterns, traumas that are in the body. Some people call them samskara, where, they come up to be healed, they come up to be felt, they come up to be met. And then it's my job to acknowledge and feel them and be compassionate
Mhm.
to when I am experiencing discomfort or that edge
Yeah.
that is it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it only happens for what, 90 seconds. If I can get through the 90 seconds of the intensity, then I
Yes.
can I can get to the other side.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. If we can fully feel the physical sensations, the chemicals that rush into our body when we get activated, get cleaned out of our body within that 90 seconds. So we just have to experience it. And that's a big just, I know. But if we can focus on the physical sensations, it clears out of our system.
And give ourselves full permission to feel.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book right now called The Permission Slip, which I'll be done soon. And I'm really excited about that because I find that so many of us are looking for the answers outside of us.
Yeah.
And they're really not outside of us
Mhm.
because the nervous system and your own body will show you what's right for you. And that's I'm excited about offering that because that's like a foundation of really honoring yourself as you
Mhm.
are and living from authentic power, which is the same thing as this infinite energy you're talking about.
Exactly.
It is rejuvenating, restorative, and it is a must if you don't want to have burnout. It's a must to open to. That's actually beyond the thinking, beyond the beliefs, beyond all the roles and gender and the person of you that is required. It's almost like a necessity is to go through the dark night of the soul, and it happens for me. It's happened many times. I have many ones
Yeah.
when I recognize that, oh, I'm going through an edge and I'm evolving and I'm up leveling,
Yeah.
and I need to honor that time and the recalibration that takes to integrate, as you say, the keyword integrate,
Mhm.
and reflect
Yeah.
and honor the process that my body needs to restore balance again in the new phase and the new experience of Lucia now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And all of those up levelings are bringing you closer and closer to your soul signature and closer and closer to codifying your soul signature modality. That's what you're here to do.
Oh, good.
So
Thank
good.
you for having this time together and the sharing your beautiful self and your lovely smile. Is there a way that people can reach you, or is there a website, or you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. My website is danielleyes.com. And I would love, love, love to talk with anyone else. If you're curious and want to learn more or want to dive in, you can book a 30-minute consultation with me at danielleyes.com/calendar.
And I'll put a link underneath this video so you can actually get that link below and
Awesome.
get to know Danielle on a whole nother level. You're just such a delight. We're so lucky to have you on this planet.
Mm.
Such a gift to us and our evolution. And thank you for doing your work, your inner work, because now you can serve other people. And what a gift you are for us all. For me, I'm just really happy to reconnect with you after all these years. Oh, I
Yes.
didn't tell everyone how we reconnected. You wrote, I think you wrote on my timeline on my Facebook.
Yes. Yes.
And I felt you. I was like, oh wow, I can feel your love. And I reached out and I was like, what's she doing now? And it was like it was such a lovely surprise to reconnect. And it's just wow. Yeah, I don't have any other things to say. I just feel just so grateful to be reconnected and know this incredible work that you're doing on this planet for our own evolution as we grow and
Mm.
we remember our soul and honor our soul signature,
Mhm.
what it's actually showing us that it needs.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm so full of awe and gratitude to be in your space and to be connecting with you and for this conversation. So much fun.
Yes, and we need to do it again.
Yeah, of
We can go
course.
deeper.
Yes,
Always
exactly.
go deeper. That's the beauty of evolution.
Yes, exactly. I love it so much. Thank you for having me and for the invitation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.